Good evening, everyone. How are you? I am Karen of
And
Pages
I'm,
and Surprises,
oh, yes. And I am Delasber Sanders of No Greater Love Incorporated.
and tonight we come to you to speak about the joy of finding peace when grace shows up. I think that title alone is powerful in and of itself because everybody needs grace. I'm glad that it shows up because if it didn't, things would be very different. Very, very,
Tell me about it.
very, very different. So I'm excited to know what you guys think about it. When has um, Grace showed up? Because Grace doesn't show up when raging, and Grace doesn't show up when raising hell. Grace shows up when we have reflection time most of the time. And then we're thankful that the person on the other side of our rant showed us grace either to stay quiet or not match our tone that's on 1,000. So, eh, that is a learned skill.
Yes.
That is a learned skill. That is a learned skill. So, the last one has peace allowed grace to show up in your life.
Oh, too many times. Too many times. I guess really for me, it was most prominent in my life today when I'm sitting in my office and all of a sudden I'm smelling smoke and I'm like, what is he cooking? Again, y'all, I don't eat a lot of stuff. So I'm like, this does not smell good. Whatever it is, he needs to stop cooking it. And then I realized whatever it is, it's not cooking anymore. It's cooked. And it's cooked to the point of burnt. So I get up and I walk out of my office and I walk into the living room and he's sitting on the sofa and the house is full of smoke. Y'all, he's just sitting there. So I walk into the kitchen because I'm like, what the? Can't say what I said. And I look and it's a skillet on the stove because for some unknown reason, my husband seems to think that the way that you wash a skillet is that you put water in it and you put it on the stove and you boil it. Now, I just want to know, is there anybody else out here that thinks that that's the way you wash a skillet? I just need to know this because I realize that I'm a little crazy at times and that I don't really do things the right way. But y'all, the Calphalon was burnt up. The house was smoky, and I just walked back in there where he was and said, "What the are you doing?" And he looks at me all innocent and says, "I'm reading something on my phone." And I'm like, in this? And he's like, oh, let's open some windows. How did you not see or smell this? Y'all, it had to go past his nose to get to me. Okay? And honestly, Grace stepped in because he was just as calm, just as cool. And he was like, I don't know. I just didn't smell it. Like, now, if you know me, you know I can be a little flip sometimes. And I'm like, how you ain't smell that? And as one of my friends just say, where they do this at? Y'all. Then we had to open up all these windows in my house. And I am blessed to have a lot of windows. Y'all, it's cold. It was cold in this house for hours while we tried to get this smell out of this house. And let me give a disclaimer right now. Tonight we're playing Old MacDonald Had a Farm. So if you hear that in the background, just charge it to our heads and not our hearts with it. No, she's doing her stuff, and we're not going to bother her about it. Uh, so I think today was a day when that Grace stepped in and allowed me to have a little peace because his calmness was the grace. Because I had to back up and say, oops, you know what? I really didn't mean to say that like that,
Mm.
even though I kind of really did. But I didn't mean to hurt his feelings when I did it. Okay. Let me just say that. I didn't mean to hurt his feelings, but I reacted instead of being proactive. I reacted to what I saw in my house.
Hmm. Hmm.
And as I told him, I also reacted to the fact that, Warren, maybe people don't know, Warren is sick right now. So I reacted to the fact that he's not well enough, really, to me now to leave him at home alone. Because what if I hadn't been here? He would have been inhaling that smoke for I don't know how long.
Mm.
And that just kind of knocked me back because I'm used to him being that strong man, that protector. And now I'm having to protect him. And that kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. So today was that day for me. What about y'all? I'm waiting for y'all to write something in the comments.
Well, let me just say, after listening to what you just said, his piece is what helped your grace step in because you were irate about it. But he was very much, very peaceful about it. Not
That's
that,
scary too.
yeah, but so, it's not productive for his tone to match yours. And that would have been counterproductive because nothing would have gotten done. We would have just focused on whatever was happening. So it was actually his piece that was able to help you find grace because you were not on the peaceful path at all. From at least that's what I'm gathering from what you said. So I mean,
I was so far away from it until it's not even funny.
right? See, so I'm glad tonight we're talking about the joy of finding peace when grace shows up because had he matched your tone, it would not have been a good conversation.
No, not at all.
But
Not at all. Um,
that's why.
I know it's, and I'm very grateful for it. I'm very grateful for him. I am. I am.
Yeah, of
I
course.
just, I'm grateful for God. Cause, ooh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell me a time about you, because I know that has to happen in your job. I know it does.
Oh, it happens awful lot. It happens awful lot. I mean, I had to. Yeah, it happens awful lot. I just there's no one thing that I can point to because there are several things because it's the healthcare field.
Yeah.
But I find that hmm, things get out of hand and in healthcare, the patient's always right, even when they're not,
Mm,
right? So I find that I don't generally have to have grace that much for my patients as I would have to have it for my colleagues, if that makes sense. My patients are never on 1,000.
mm,
And if they are, when I walk into the room, they never display it to me.
okay.
They always say, "It was not you. I'm not angry at you." And I'll say, "You know what? Would you like or would you mind if I come back at another time if this is a bad time for you?" And they say, "No, no, no, sis." Oh no, 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 man. Whatever, whichever, whoever I'm dealing with at the time. No, no, no. I'll talk to you about the others. But it's just, their experiences and how they feel about it. So it would be sometimes the staff, they are more seasoned nurses and they are set in their ways. And sometimes, communication is not at its best. And, lines get crossed and their terms is not the lines get crossed. Basically, you know, it happens and you bring different people together from different backgrounds and you have them practically live together for 12 hours a day,
Mhm.
which is not, what anybody would want to do, but you figure, what the personalities, they'll work together, they'll gel and you'll figure it out, but it doesn't always work that way. So you have to make the best of the situation. So I find that when they are yelling, which they do, when they are at their wits' end, which they are, it is my peace that helps them find grace. Because I couldn't go on 1,000 with them, though I want to, because a lot of the things that they do are not correct, but I understand it. So
Mhm.
who am I to be in my position and not want to show them or let them know that there's something better on the other side of that anger. Not
Mhm.
that you can't express it, but there's a better way to express it so that you are not offending others and that you don't say something that you just can't take back. That's important because there is life and death in the tongue, and the tongue is very powerful. And this little thing in our mouths will just flap, flap, flap away. And you'll say things that you can't get back, and it's so hurtful. You're wondering why the person doesn't want to speak. So, I mean, sometimes it's not worth it. Sometimes it's just, my mother used to always say, it's better to think before you talk, think before you speak.
Mhm.
It's important, but the biggest point for me is that you can't allow the situations to control your emotions.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That there, yeah.
you can't allow
That
it
there.
to control you. Yeah, it's not easy. By no way am I saying at all am I saying that it's easy. It is a learned skill. It is a learned skill because everybody has a breaking point. But in healthcare, you can't go off on people. I don't have, not that I can't, I just don't feel that it's productive because you know, all that does is not get the patient what he or she needs. If the patient comes in aggressive towards me, then they will be removed or whatever the situation is, right? But if it continues, and you're endangering staff, there are laws in place for that. And I don't want to put my patients in jail.
Mhm.
That's not my end goal. My end goal is to help them get what they need. But so as far as because I know we deal with patients from every walk of life, it is important to have the nurses know that, in order for you to better channel whatever those negative feelings are, I find that for me, journaling works because they don't have
Mhm.
outlets. Outlets are important for nurses. Outlets are important for anybody that works in a field where they have to have contact with people constantly on a daily basis. And because people are not nice, we see that.
Mhm.
And with COVID, it's they're not people are not nice. So it is a challenging time for all of us, very, very challenging for us in healthcare. And, for any type of job that you have to deal with people on a one-on-one basis. So I find that journaling for me gives me that peace. And that's when grace shows up for me because it allows me to reflect. When I'm journaling, I can reflect because it's the questions that are being asked. What went well for you today? Right?
Mhm.
And then you start to think about because you're so wrapped up into what went bad, you don't think about the good you do in a day. And 9 times out of 10, the good definitely outweighs the bad, you know?
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's important to just be grounded and know that nobody said there were not going to be difficult times. It's just how we handle them. So, peace is important. And if it means you have to, take some deep breaths, put on a diffuser, put your head back, close your eyes, put your head down, whatever it is that can give you that moment of peace. But 5 to 10 minutes, even if it means you have to go in the bathroom, wherever you can find that peace. Because it's in those 10 minutes that you're doing that breathing in and out and you're thinking about it and you're calming down. And then you start thinking, once you calm it down, because now everything comes back into place. Now you're centered, right? Now
Mhm.
you can think straight and you don't have all these different thoughts going in and out and all these things in your head going on. You can actually think and you can be clear enough to say, hey, you know what? I shouldn't have done that. Or I shouldn't have said that. Because that's when grace shows up and it's always on time. So, yeah, are there difficult situations? Absolutely. But I know that in order for me to stay grounded and to stay positive and just to continue to be that person that, you know, can continue to have those positive vibes, I have to find outlets. And a lot of people just say, oh, it's just writing. But when you can put your feelings on paper and get it out, you can have a better conversation where things make sense. When you're angry,
Mhm.
things are jumbled up. You're saying all kind of stuff. You got the crazy body language and head is going, your arms is going, and you like, what is happening? And you're going with it because it feels so good, right? That high, that adrenaline rush. You're like, yeah, and you're going and you're going. Then when you come down off of that and you start thinking about the things you said and how it made other people feel, or matter how it made you feel. Felt good saying it, but then when you realize what you said, you be like, oh, wait a minute, that was a bit much. So, I mean, it's always good to be able to have control of self. Self control is very much important because when you have control of yourself, you control your mind. You can control your mind. The mind is very powerful. It is very powerful. You can change the way things are being done. If you want to live in positivity and that's all you move with, that's what you're gonna get out of it. So it's important to definitely make sure that you can remove yourself from the situation if it means that's what you need to do and have that moment of silence and think about it. And it is when you start saying, oh, yeah, well, I could look up. All of a sudden, Grace just walks right on in. Grace says, thank you. Thank you for opening the door. Because it's a good time to reflect. You reflect. And reflection is important because it's a two-way mirror. You need to be able to see your ugly. Not that you are ugly, but you need to be able to see your ugly. And listen, you have to be able to. If you can identify them and you're aware of them, you'll be more conscious of it not to do it again. But if you just fly off the handle because it feel good, you like that feeling, and I don't know what to tell you. That's a tough time to try to figure out. But it's important. It's very much important. So I am a very, very, very big pusher of journaling and getting it out on paper so we can have more positive conversations and find better solutions than yelling and screaming. Because we listen, it's February. We get 1 month, the shortest month, and we need to make sure that we are definitely uplifting every day because we need it.
Yes.
We need it. I mean, that's just the bottom line. We need it. So we definitely, definitely need it. So I am a true believer in, uplifting and if you're not ready for that and that's not what you want, then I'm okay with that too. But at least I extended the invitation to some peace. Because on the other side of that, there's work to do and you have to work. You have to work. You can't expect to get different results if you keep doing the same things. It's like that hamster running on that wheel. You ain't gonna never, you just keep running. And you tired and you running. And you tired, but you still running. And you doing the same old thing over and over. You can't expect to bake a cake if you don't have the proper ingredients and it's gonna fall flat every time. And that's you, not you personally. I'm just saying. That's what it is.
I agree. I agree. Gosh. Oh, Miss Levon, thank you for joining us tonight. How are you doing?
Hi.
Y'all, we have been talking about finding joy and peace when grace steps in. And I just want to know, how do you do that? When do you have a time when grace has stepped in and you found peace in a situation? If you have that, write it down there for us. We're going to check it. We're going to respond to you. We need to know. We need to know if you guys feel like us. Sometimes you just wonder when grace going to show up. You know? Sometimes I feel like saying, Grace, are you here? Are you there? Are you anywhere? Can we find you? Can you throw? Can you throw something at us? Do something. You know, it's Mardi Gras time here in Louisiana, so I'm like, throw me something, Mister. Grace, just throw me a little something. You don't know about that? You don't know about throw me something, Mister?
No, now I'm fine now. When you
Oh,
say
that's
throw me some mist, I'm like, are you talking about beads? Like, what are you talking about?
yes,
Ah,
yes. It
okay,
beads, candy, anything that they have on the floats to throw.
okay.
That's what little kids are supposed to say. Throw me something, Mister. But you know, your girl does not go around a whole bunch of people, so I don't do the parades. Uh,
Okay.
and, we just don't do that. But I probably will possibly take Amory to one or two this year because I think they're going to have some. There's going to be little bitty areas where there's not so many people out there.
So many people. Good.
Yeah, yeah,
Listen, y'all need it. You need to have some fun.
yeah.
I like
So
that music they play. I don't know.
oh, do you?
Yeah, because I like the dance that goes with it. I don't know how to do
Oh,
it.
so you like Sadago?
What's the name of it now?
Sadago.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, yeah,
Ooh, Miss Levon, hold up. Wait a minute. Miss Levon says I breathe throughout my day.
yeah.
Mm,
It's important. It
that's
centers you.
yeah. I'm learning that. I have to admit I'm learning that. I have been testing a whole bunch of different techniques over the past couple of weeks, and I think that sitting with my feet on the floor and just laying my head back and breathing and just really deep breaths, which is something I never really did before.
Mm,
I just would breathe, but breathing the deep breaths, and then I have peppermint like you
mm,
guys, and I love to have that smell going in my office. So I'll do that, and it grounds me. I'm learning to deal with listening to the same songs over and over again, and learning to shift my mindset to where I'm not aggravated by the same song over and over again. I'm beginning to find now, is she trying to say something to me by playing this song? What are the words in this song? Kind of like she did when I don't know if y'all saw the video, when I asked her to get up so we could go to school, she played this song, said, Mom, I won't get up. Uh, that kind of told me she was not getting up, and she turned her back to me and continued to snore. So she showed me she was not getting up. So it's giving me a different mindset on things. And it's nice to be able to, I'm going to recap what we've done, Karen, because I think it's important to say we've been intentionally grateful for life itself, for the little things, and making conscious decisions to be at peace, and just, grace shows up for us, which gives us some peace. But I think we also need to remember in these last few minutes that it's time for us to be grace for somebody else as well.
mhm.
It's not all about what we get, it's also about what we give. And for me, it's more so about what I give than it is what I get. So I'm just hoping that we all work to give a little more grace. because I think that will help the world be a better place. At least in my world, it does. When
Hmm.
I give just a little bit more grace, even if I give more grace than I got, we need to remember that. I heard somebody say this, and it really struck me. Everybody does not have the same capacity for anything. My capacity to love is more than a lot of people's capacities to love.
Right.
And if I give 100% of my capacity, and let's just say somebody else gives me what I think is not the same amount as I'm giving them, what we have to stop and think about is what is their capacity for love? They may be giving me 100% of them, but because their capacity is lower than mine, it's not as large as mine is. I feel like I'm getting shortchanged, but they're giving all they have.
Right.
So just remember to give all you have in every situation,
Yeah.
except for when you're being mean. Okay, don't give all you have then. But in all good situations, give all you have and expect the other person to give all they have. And if they don't, so you think, give all they have, you might need to stop and rethink about how much they really do have. What is their capacity to love? What is their, because somebody's cup may be full. This, it's not whatever, but this may be completely full, all the way filled up for me. But let's just say I'm going to use my daughter. For my daughter, this might be full, but this is all she had. But it only got to here on my bottle because I had all of this to give.
Hmm.
So don't take it out on that person because they're not giving you what you think you deserve from them because they could possibly be giving you more than they even have themselves.
Yeah, that's very true. And we also need to remember that people can only give to whatever the capacity is, which is what you're saying. But also, what was it not yesterday? I said you can't give if your cup is not full. I can't pour into you if you have if you have I can't pour into you if my cup is not full, right? If I'm full and I have everything, I can pour into you. But if I'm depleted, it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make sense. And there's no way that if I'm not full with great intentions, being appreciative, having choices, allowing you to have choices, right? And then saying, okay, well, let's talk about what matters in your heart. Let's talk about how you feel today. Let's talk about what journaling can do. Let's talk about how peace allows grace to show up. I have to be able to give you a platform to express yourself. But again, if I'm not full, I can't pour into someone else. That's why I have to make sure that I'm okay so that I can help others. That's why it's important for me to meditate. It's important for me to journal. It's important for me to get those massages. It's important for me to find whatever relaxes me and helps me center myself so I can be at my best when it comes to taking care of my patients. Because I said it before, it's never about me. It's not about me. My job is not about me. Yes, I have the position, I have the title, but it's not about me. I'm smart enough to know that it's just not about me. It's just way bigger than me, and I'm just a piece of that. I'm just a piece of that. So if whatever piece I can give them to allow grace to show up for them, it's amazing. It's amazing to see it happen, but we have to allow it. We can't take those choices from people. We can't, force them to do things that they should, what we feel they should do. It's not about me. It's about allowing people to have choices. It's about just, again, like I said earlier, you don't need to react to everything. You don't need to answer to everything. And if they're having a moment of negativity or they're on 1,000, The only way you're going to combat that negativity is with positivity. If it means you got to step away, you step away. If it means don't yell because it's just not productive. It's so counterproductive. And like I said, it's a skill set that has to be learned, but you have to groom it in order for you to be able to perfect it. You have to perfect it in order for you to be able to pour into other people. There's no way I could do my job at all if my tank was not full because it is a very, very demanding job. And there's no way that I can go in with my needle almost to E and think I'm gonna do 10 hours, 12 hours, because all I'm doing is hurting myself in the process because everything's gonna get to me. I'm not gonna help anybody. It's just a waste to show up and not be my best. So that's why I have to make sure I pour into myself and I do what I need to keep my tank full so I can do my best work. Because I do my best work when I'm in the right frame of mind. Because I think about what about my patients? You know, they're counting on me. So it's important for me to find my peace so grace can show up. It is important for me to find my peace. Very much so important for me to find my peace and stay within it. And if I need a moment to step away, please allow me that grace to do that. I'm human.
Exactly. Exactly. I totally agree with you. And I'm going to say this before we leave. You guys, yesterday, Miss Nurse Practitioner gave us a challenge. And anyone who wants to join that challenge, please put the word group in the chat. Just say you want to join the challenge. When you say you want to join the challenge, I'll tell you what the challenge is. Because then I got you. Okay. I'm not going to tell you before then. Just say group and we'll know you want to join the challenge. Everybody should join the challenge if I have, because it's a huge challenge. I see you, Dr. Finch. You want to join the challenge with us? Come on.
Hey, Dr. Finch, how are you?
Levon, we got you, girl. You know you in the group. Come on. Come on, y'all. Let's see group. We need you in the challenge. I will go on and tell y'all it's a week without meat. Y'all. No meat for a week. Okay? Thank God for fish. Join the challenge. Group. We need you to say group. Way to go. All right. We got Dr. Finch. All
Yes,
right.
I see
Yeah.
them. If you
I'm
catch us on the
excited.
replay, say replay and you can still say group. It's fine. Just let us know it was the replay and say group and we will definitely invite you in. I mean, it's it's February, Women's Heart Month, right? Come on. We got to do some heart healthy things. What was our topic yesterday? Matters of the heart, right?
That's right.
Hey, it's important. It's a small muscle, but it operates for an entire body. So no matter, we put strain on it, we do the wrong things, and if it gives up, there's no us. So if we love it, it will love us right back. So I mean, it's 7 days, D. It's fine. 7 days, it'll be fine. And hopefully after 7 days, you won't want it.
I was about to tell you, you saying it's 7 days now. After 7 days, you're going another 7 days, D. I
You
tell
might
you,
just say, Karen, I'll do it. I may not have to ask. I'm just saying.
yeah, yeah. And I'm going to tell y'all this. You know what I had for breakfast this morning?
Mm,
I had some peanuts.
wow. Okay. Well, I had callaloo and cabbage, and I had a smoothie, and then for lunch I had a salmon burger, and then I had sea moss, and in between that I had water. So I mean,
I'm just going to say this and then I'm going to say good night because I do have a headache tonight. I got on a call with her earlier and she informed me, and I'm talking about Karen now. I had a CMOS party to myself. I'm like, who in the world has CMOS parties? I just need to know if you're somebody that has a CMOS party, please put it in this chat so I can learn. Because I just do not believe that everyday people are walking around having CMOS parties.
Hey,
Okay.
makes me happy.
I know, and I love the fact that it makes you happy. I do.
I
But I
wouldn't be
will
able
not be
to
having a
smile.
CMOS party with you.
I wouldn't be able to smile so much. Delasber, how often do I smile?
Ooh, 24/7. I don't think I really, real talk, Karen. I don't know that I've ever seen you without a smile. I really don't.
Yeah, I was voted
Hmm.
best smile in junior high, in public school, and high school. I was the quietest. I was the tallest. I was the quietest. But I always smile. And now it's part of my job. You got to walk in with a smile on your face. You got to leave whatever it is at the door, put it on, and just make it happen. So that's why I need to have peace so grace can show up.
Well, on that note, you guys look at Karen, smile, and say good night. It's been real. And this is day, what, 5? Is this
I
day
think
5?
so. I think it is day 5. Let me
This
see.
is day 5.
It's day 5. It's day 5.
So we will be back tomorrow for day 6. Hey, you guys, throw us some topics. Put them in this chat. Tell us what you want us to talk about.
Yeah, anything specific that you want to talk about, anything. Remember, it's PG now.
Yeah, we want PG and we want you involved. So throw us some topics and let's just have a fun time tomorrow, just talking about stuff. Okay?
Yeah, no
Remember
matter.
on a personal note journal.com, get your journal so that you can get your peace. Okay?
So grace can show up. Good night.